All right, Tuesday, December 29th, 2015. Derek Davis here with Rob Vino, sportsbettingtoday.us and Rob Vino Sports. Four games on the college football card today in the bowls here during the bowl season. Last one to look at today, number 247 and 248, Texas Tech and LSU. LSU a 7-point favorite, and this one a total of 74, which is quite a total for a game involving an SEC team, Rob. Game opened at LSU minus 7.5 at a total of 71. The game is being played in the Texas Bowl in Houston, Texas. Weather should be nice for this one. Mid 50s. Low wind there in South Texas. 9 p.m. Eastern kickoff for this one, Rob. Texas Tech, Rob, really struggled in the middle of the season. They did have some tough games there, but have played well in their last two outings. Winning straight up and against the spread against Texas and Kansas State. LSU, on the other hand, Rob, comes into this one. Losers 3 of their last 4. Les Miles saves his job, Rob, with a win over the Texas A&M Aggies of all folks. Les didn't do a very good job of managing the team after that Alabama disappointment. The loss of their defensive coordinator, Rob, last year seems to have really hurt the Tigers in 2015. But offensively, LSU has not scored more than 20 points since October, Rob. Plenty to gripe about there as well. Yet here they sit as a 7-point favorite in what is presumably going to be a high-scoring affair there in Houston. Texas Tech has given up 45 in their last game to Texas, 44 in their last game to K-State. 31 against West Virginia, 70 to Oklahoma State, 63 to Oklahoma. Rob, looks like about anyone can score on the Red Raiders. No reason to think that Les' offense will be any different, even though they'll definitely hand the ball off more than most teams have that Texas Tech has faced this year. Tech really hasn't faced a solid running team since that Arkansas game where they upset the Razorbacks. Rob, can we draw anything from that game against Arkansas here where we can find a reason to take Texas Tech and those points?
Yeah, Derek, I feel like you could make an especially strong case for both sides in this game. I mean, if you want to play LSU, your case doesn't have to be much more than we're going to hand the ball off to Leonard Fournette. A couple of times this evening, he's going to get the handoff and see nothing but goalposts and score touchdowns. Texas Tech, a team that has allowed 252 rushing yards per game, is certainly going to get steamrolled at the line of scrimmage. Cliff Kingsbury and the Texas Tech coaching staff will likely try to stack the box with 8 guys and dare Brandon Jennings to throw the football. There's been some talk about maybe Les Miles allowing more freedom in the offense here, maybe throwing the ball a bit more, using this as somewhat of an experimental type game to see if they can throw the football. I don't think they'll get away from Fournette too much, but if Jennings can hit a couple of play action passes where LSU's talented wide receivers should be running all alone, and they're going to score their share of points here. It doesn't matter to Kingsbury, though. It doesn't matter to Texas Tech. I mean, they give up 38 points a game on average. They score 46. They allow 526 yards per game. They gain 596. They're just going to do what they do. And for Texas Tech, if you want to make the case of them +7, you start with perhaps LSU, one of those disappointed teams being where they are in this level of bowl game. We see at least one every year team from a Power 5 conference that comes into the season with high expectations, that almost reaches expectations. LSU almost got to the point where they could beat Alabama and win the SEC West. And when that doesn't happen, you enter a bowl game that's a lower tier. You're in there as a favorite. We see these type of teams lose all the time. Every year this situation seems to occur and happen. So it wouldn't surprise if Texas Tech got the victory here, or at least the cover. I mean, look at LSU last year. They played Notre Dame, Malik Zaire at quarterback, a backup quarterback at that. They got hit pretty hard in the point spread. Most of the money was on LSU, and Notre Dame comes out and wins the game straight up, puts a lot of points on them. So you can make the case for Texas Tech here. Cliff Kingsbury, the way they play the game, LSU, I know SEC defensive lines have strong and deep rotations. But, the defensive line's tongues are going to be hanging here for LSU. They're going to chase, chase, chase. No defensive line likes to chase and not get home. But Texas Tech gets rid of the ball so quickly that, it's difficult to get home against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can also run the football from the quarterback position. And Texas Tech, unlike a lot of years where they were simply a one-trick pony with the air raid, and while the passing game dominates their offense, DeAndre Washington has done a great job at running back this year and catching the ball out of the backfield. There's a lot to worry about with this Texas Tech offense. So I think you could make this solid case of +7 with Texas Tech in this game. I think if you look outside the box and go to an intangible as well, intangibles would point toward Texas Tech here because we know how intent Cliff Kingsbury is on the philosophy of offensive football that he plays and showing that it can be a winning style. You remember, you talked about the Arkansas game. What you remember most about that Arkansas game is the back and forth between he and Brett Bielema after Texas Tech won. No love lost there. Cliff Kingsbury said what he had to say. I think, if I'm remembering right, at the end of that little spiel that he went on, he actually added that, Arkansas would probably go out and get their ass kicked by the next high flying air raid style team they played. I believe they were going to play one the following week. So, hey, listen, to play an SEC West team that believes in ground game and defense, this is up in Cliff Kingsbury's alley. It's in his wheelhouse. I think they'll come prepared. Obviously, it'll be a pretty decent decent field conditions tonight. I kind of like the Texas Tech side myself. Total's huge, but it needs to be huge in any Texas Tech game. You have to place the total here, otherwise you're going to get a huge amount of over money. To win this one, if you're going to play over to win, you have to find yourself with 38 per side. That would get you to 76. 75 is the winner, so 38, 37, 41, 34 maybe. If you can see a 41-34 game happening, which you can see happening in almost any Texas Tech game, then you still have a little room for value. I myself think that maybe +7. If you can get 7.5, that's even better. But Texas Tech, I think, will play this one close.